Hello and welcome back to LBG Reviews. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Today we'll be talking about The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. This is the first mainline Legend of Zelda game, where Zelda is the protagonist. Similar to a lot of other Nintendo games, this game does not contain any accessibility settings. It does have difficulty settings, but there's only normal and hard. My playthrough, I played on normal mode. The game starts off, you're playing as Link. It plays like any other Zelda game initially. But then you get to Ganon, which would normally be the final boss, or at this point, I assume it was Ganon. I assume that maybe it was an echo of Ganon, but I don't know. I haven't beaten the game yet, unlike a lot of other people. But as Link, basically, after Link defeats Ganon, and Ganon starts kind of glowing, and then he starts laughing as a rift forms underneath him, and as Link is being pulled down into the rift, he sees Zelda trapped in the crystal, so he shoots his bow at it, breaking the crystal enough to allow Zelda to finish breaking free herself. And then, I could talk about, the rest of, the dungeons, but I'm gonna try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. I love how creative this game is. This is one of the times where, even though it doesn't have any accessibility settings, and normally I would say that's fine, I think it not having accessibility settings works in its favor. Because the main mechanic of the game is that you're able to summon echoes of items you encounter throughout the game. You encounter, say, a big old snowball up on a mountaintop. You can take an echo of that and then have a big old snowball at your disposal, maybe as a shield, maybe as a way to roll into enemies to hurt them. The same goes for the enemies in the game. You kill an enemy, you obtain its echo to allow you to fight alongside it or to have it fight for you. There are so many echoes that just feel good to use. They feel like you feel smart for figuring out, hey, I can use water blocks to scale a cliffside. I can use, even though I know that that's something that's shown off in the trailer, you feel clever for doing it, because it's like a lot of other Zelda games, you would have had to find a secret passageway, maybe blow up a wall with bombs or something else to get up a cliffside like that. This game, it's like, nah, I make my own bridges, I make my own ladders, I make my own stairs. It's a lot of fun. Okay, that's where the spoiler-free part of things ends. If you have not played Echoes of Wisdom, but you want to, if you've not gotten through at least a little over halfway through the game, stop watching. Go ahead, you have my seal of approval. We need to talk about the Faron Wetlands section of the game for a little bit. There's one point in the Faron Wetlands where you seal a rift, and basically the Deku scrubs in the area have basically been almost worshipping the rifts, right? Like, they call them dark thorns that spread and spew spider webs that then they spin into cotton candy. And so, when you seal a rift that it's covering a Deku Scrub's house, the other Deku Scrubs in the area are like, you got rid of the dark thorns? And you're a bad person. Go to jail. The jail escape sequence sucks, in my opinion. There were other parts of the game where you had to do stealth sections like that before, but those felt fair and fun and unique because you had your echoes to work with. This one, they strip you of the tri-rod, they remove that you basically can't access any of your echoes. You have to rely on purely the game's stealth mechanics. One of the biggest problems, though, for me, is that if you're in a pot, because you can hide inside pots, if you're inside a pot and a guard is patrolling their path, and you're inside a pot that's in their path, they will try to jump over your pot, but not be able to jump over it, and they'll just get stuck jumping on top of it, falling, jumping forever, unless you move and reveal yourself and basically fail for the time being. I hated that section of the game. That section of the game felt woefully unfair comparatively to the rest of it for me. It could be that I'm just bad at stealth sections, But if a stealth section and a stealth mechanic is made good, I enjoy stealth. But that just felt wrong. Like, it just felt awful. Like, I would stop in place, like, the guard did not notice me. They were just trying to jump over a pot, but they could not jump over that pot. That felt unfair to me. And that's really all I got to say about Echoes of Wisdom. Stay tuned for next week when we talk about The Plucky Squire, another game that came out recently that I'm really looking forward to talking about, because I've seen some mixed reception about the game, and I really enjoyed it. It's this game where you basically play as a squire who lives in a storybook, but you get forced out of your storybook and you have to use the reality-bending properties of being able to jump in and out of your book to basically solve puzzles, get through challenges. It's a lot of fun.